I don't know how we fix that, but I definitely feel that.
Do you guys meditate at all?
I used to do a better job.
Dead silence. Stunned silence.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're the Midlife guys. So today we have a very special guest joining us. An old friend of ours from college. Braxton, how are you? How were the holidays? How's the family? What's going on?
Things are good, but busy. Holidays were supposed to be a nice, relaxing time, but everybody got the flu, I think in the day before and the day of Christmas. So we struggled with that for a while. Good news is we were able to hang in the house and kind of spend good time with my parents. But yeah, I think I would classify that as a very midlife holiday. Yeah. As you guys know, I have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old daughter, so they keep me pretty busy. And the older one just got into kindergarten this year. So we're dealing with that transition.
Congratulations. That's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's fun. Yeah. I feel like it's not just the holidays though, having 2 kids as well. It's a whirlwind all the time. Like you think like, oh, we're going to take it easy and have fun and just all relax by like the fireplace and watch movies. And like that never happens. And throughout the year, it feels like it's nothing but just a constant whirlwind. Especially 4 and 5. Those are interesting ages. I've got a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. So I'm out of like part of that phase. And so sort of the exhaustion piece of it is just a different type of exhaustion, right? It's more like mental exhaustion of having to answer why 800,000 times a day or having to negotiate literally every little thing that they want to do. So
yeah,
that's fun. That doesn't really end either, Braxton. You just get to continue the questioning. And then it's just, what's nice is when I get to a certain point, they just layer attitude on top of the questions. So it really makes it special.
Yeah. And I guess you're in that like part-time unpaid Uber driver phase as well, right?
Yeah, that's true. With all the kid activities, that's 100% accurate. Yeah.
Very chaotic. Very chaotic.
Yeah.
That's all right. So Braxton, you proposed our topic for this week. And I think it's something that a lot of midlife guys struggle with, but don't necessarily know what to call it, don't know what to think of it. So why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, it's something I think about a lot. I actually don't talk about it with a lot of people because, well, in part because I work with younger people, and I feel like they probably don't suffer from it maybe as much as I do. But I've been thinking a lot about presence and this maybe related concept of brain fog. I'm 42 now, and I've noticed that when I am physically in a room, maybe at work or playing with my daughters or talking to my wife, my brain can be somewhere else entirely. I'm just not as like quick as I used to. I'm not as alert, and I don't feel as present and sort of in control necessarily of what I'm saying and doing. It's almost out of body sometimes. So yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been thinking about why that's the case, and I just wanted to like chat about that with you guys because it's something that's on my mind a lot.
Yeah, it's a good topic because, there is a lot of research out there about this. And as we age, there is a cognitive decline that happens. It just impacts processing, speaking, multitasking. It's not impacting your knowledge necessarily or your skills, but there is a decline. So Harvard has actually done a lot of research about this topic and has put the cause in essentially 3 buckets. The first bucket is depression, anxiety, and stress. So, the things that we're constantly struggling with, especially in midlife, stressful situations with family, at home, at work, things of that nature. Lack of proper sleeping habits. So we talked about this in a previous episode and the importance of getting a good night's sleep and recharging. If you have not seen that episode, we will leave a link in the bio. And the final bucket is intake habits. That includes food, medication, alcohol. So our intake habits can impact testosterone levels, which can also be a root cause of brain fog.
Can I just jump in real quick? I do just want to note, Mike and Brax, I'm really interested in your thoughts on this because you're both 42. I'm only 41, so I'm really interested to see, since you guys are so far ahead
You're
of
not
me
in it yet.
on this. I'm not really, no. This is going to be really enlightening.
It is funny. I mean, so when I turned 40, I felt pretty much the same as at
Yeah.
35 or 30. So I don't think I quite had that like year 40 moment. It's more in the last year or so that I've taken this stuff more seriously and maybe started trying to do something about it as well.
It like compounds, right? I do feel like the more you get into 40, the more you feel all this stuff, like literally everything Mike talked about. I'm like, yep, there's
Yeah.
all check off.
Yeah. It's so I mean, no huge surprises there from the Harvard research. Like I do feel like that's consistent with some of the things I've been thinking about and the research that I've done. And I did hear that episode where you guys talked about sleep. And that's very top of mind. So I support a team in London. So I'm getting up early a lot of times to talk to them. And even on the days when I don't, um, 5 a.m. is mostly the only time I can exercise, which I know is important. I'm trying to get out there, not get fat, and hopefully just keep my energy levels up. And I know that can contribute to having a sharper mind as well. So then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got in the evenings. That's kind of your only time to maybe relax, spend some time with my
Yeah.
wife, watch some movie in the basement that she doesn't want to watch, play some video games with friends, or have the occasional night out with friends. So it's very easy to just burn that candle on both ends. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to be cognizant of like how much sleep I'm getting and can I like at least reduce my sleep debt? I've got an Aura ring now, so that's telling me on a regular basis that I'm like 6 hours behind, and I'm trying to like get that number down. This is an interesting one, maybe a little controversial, but on that alcohol front, you guys have also discussed before. We had a lot of fun in our 20s. We've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
I wonder, did I drink too much over the last 20 years? And is that bill coming due? All that social drinking for 2 decades, and I'm like a little bit dumber than I should be otherwise.
I don't
wonder
think that's
that
the case.
too. I don't know. I do wonder though. I'm like, it's like you have a deficit you're trying to make up, right? So we're already trying to like do better habits and improve ourselves, and then it's like, is this mountain just too steep? I mean, I'm sure it's not. We can make it work. But I relate with you on the whole like, I wonder if some of those choices I made when I was younger are coming back to roost a little bit, or like, yeah, you're just,
Yeah, Arlington, Virginia, circa 2007, 2008.
but I wouldn't change it though. I would probably do it all over again if I had that option.
It was a lot of fun.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fact of the matter is the body is pretty resilient. It can repair itself. So I think looking at those days from those old days when we were in our 20s, yeah, you can't change what happened. So, but I don't think that's really impacting where we are right now. I think this is part of the normal aging process. But, with alcohol, as we've discussed before, especially in our 20s, there was still a lot of research out there that showed, the 1 to 2 glasses of wine a day essentially was actually healthy for you. But that research has completely gone out the window now because, as we've discussed previously, the studies that had talked about alcohol consumption were done with a more affluent
Right.
Like
base of individuals
participants or whatever.
and
Yeah.
participants. And so, it didn't take into account varying income levels at all. And so we now know that alcohol consumption just doesn't do anything good for you. It does impact memory. It impacts your ability to process information. It impacts a lot of things. Yet again, your sleep habits. Drinking can impact the way your sleep cycle. It can impact apnea, a variety of things. And MD Anderson Cancer Institute did a lot of studies on that, being like, stop drinking. It's not helping you. Just stop.
That was the abstract. Just stop drinking. All caps.
Stop. Just stop. Because it's not doing nothing for you.
I think one of the other factors I heard about undermining those earlier studies that recommended alcohol intake was that a lot of drinking is social. So the prevalence of like social behaviors, which are otherwise really good for you, could have been masking the negative effects of alcohol.
It's also tough
Yes.
because I feel like we've been ingrained as kids, especially if you're like millennials or Gen Xers, like drinking was cool, right? Like that's you saw in movies and TV shows and
Still
stuff. So it's
feels
not
kind
just
of
that.
cool.
I mean, it still is. Like I'm still doing it. Not bad, but like it does. It's part of the culture, right? And so kind of what you came up with. So I feel like those are hard things to break as well. Just those social constructs that are in place. Although I did see a news report on a couple days ago about we actually in the United States hit the lowest percentage of drinkers. It's like 54% or something of adults like say they drink now. So I guess there is a
Yeah.
drop off in the number of people who are
Yeah, because
drinking
everybody's doing edibles
edible.
or
Yeah.
smoking weed.
I see this in
So
my workplace. I work with a bunch of
Yeah.
young people, and like none of them drink. Like we have happy hours,
Really? Like,
yeah, on the last Thursday of each month, and I'll get my team together. I would say most of them are sort of late 20s, early 30s.
hmm
Some of them are maybe in relationships or married. Some are still single, and yeah, they might have a beer or a glass of wine at most. And I would say that's only between 30 and 50% of them. The other 50% abstain entirely.
what do they do at the happy hour? Just get something else or just kind of hang out?
It's sort of at our normal dinner, so
Oh,
they
okay.
grab the dinner as well. Yeah, I mean, this is
Gotcha.
I work at a big tech company. We
Yeah.
have a cafeteria, free food, so people are still socializing a bit there
Right.
and getting that nice like dining hour together, but not really the alcohol. The bar area is kind of quiet.
Huh.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So, kind of actually related topic is diet. So, I've been thinking about that a lot. I don't know how seriously you guys take that or not, but for most of my life, I've just eaten garbage, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever comes my way,
Same.
as much of it as I could get. I used to have a higher metabolism, so I didn't have to worry about weight gain as much. That's something I'm paying more attention to now. I read a study recently while looking into this episode from Brazil that tracked 10,000 people. And this study claimed that if 20% of your calories come from ultra processed foods, then you could see a 28% faster rate of global cognitive decline. So I made some changes in that area, but it's still not easy at all, especially with young kids. I'm like eating their leftovers.
Yeah. 20% is all that's the threshold there. That makes me feel great about what I'm doing. I guess it's like, but trying to make improvements is good. That's still so low. I'm trying to imagine only having 20% of processed foods. I think even when I'm trying to eat healthier, I probably still do more than that. And
Yeah.
it's tough. We used to two Braxton with like the dad diet, which this is something in the past year or so I've tried to be much more cognizant about. And I have got two, I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but I got two boys and they love all sorts of like chips and snack stuff. And when I was like, before we had kids, we didn't really have like Doritos or chips or stuff in the house because we didn't eat them. We know they weren't good for you. But now like the kids like them, we get them as treats and stuff. And if I see them in there, I'm like, I can have a handful. It's fine. And then that turns into like maybe two handfuls. And then that's like a couple times a week. And I'm like, I really need to stop eating all the kids'
It's really easy,
snacks.
right, to do?
It is
Yeah,
so
right.
easy because it's right there, and you're like, or you make it for them. You pour them a bowl or a couple things. Like, I'll just grab a couple off the top. It's fine. And then
Yeah.
you're
Or
like,
if they don't finish their cereal, I'm like, well, I don't want the cereal to go to waste. I
that's
paid
true,
for it.
right?
So I'm just kind of
Just
downing
eat it
some
all.
soggy Cheerios on my way out the door.
Or like we talked about our Halloween episode, I may or may not take part of their candy when they're asleep and just, be like, it's there. They don't need to eat it. It's not good for them, all that sugar. So let me eat it instead.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
I think there's this reality too that there's just a lot more effort in preparing healthy foods as opposed to getting takeout or maybe some of the easier stuff that you can make at home. So I'm kind of fighting that war as we get home from work and we're trying to get the kids fed. Maybe, sort of that last 5% is how do we feed ourselves? And it's probably not the best things. The middle ground that I've been trying to strike is can I at least get the right nutrients into my body through some supplements? So I started taking AG1, which did you guys bag them as a sponsor for the podcast yet? Because
not yet, but maybe they're listening. I'm gonna ask a question. Does it actually work? Like I do wonder if there's supplement things. Like have you felt or noticed a difference?
So I had this period earlier, the real like 42 crisis of age 42 for me struck in like March of this year. And I turned 42 September of this year. So I guess it was like approaching 42.
42, right.
So yeah, I was like, okay, I've got to do something about my diet. So AG1's been trying to worm its way into my head through all the podcasts that I listened to for the last 5 years. So I grabbed that because a friend told me like he really believes in it. I also grabbed a prebiotic probiotic pill. So I'm taking that. two of those every day. I started doing like red light therapy on my face a few times a week, and then a lot of exercise back then too. That's, a little iffy right now. I did feel and look like a lot healthier for a few months.
Really?
So
Okay.
it's hard to say like which of those things, or maybe it was a combination of all of them, helped. I'm kind of staying the course for now. I'm trying to like do right by my sleep and exercise routines as well, and maybe into the new year feeling like I was back in June, July, which was a really good time.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good point. I mean, I don't know about y'all's experience. Clearly, Brax, you're taking these supplements. I take at least 6 or 7 supplements every morning.
What do you want?
B12, vitamin D, fish oil.
Yeah.
I take a men's one a day tablet. All of these supplements, because my doctor was like, "Yeah, I think it's a good idea to just level out these vitamin levels." And so all of these fucking supplements, which is exhausting.
Right.
I feel like a
And expensive
pharmacy
too.
in the morning. It is expensive.
Just one more thing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, and then, from a cultural standpoint, you're talking about eating fewer processed foods. I mean, from a cultural standpoint in the U.S. and a lot of places, we're so used to just going to the grocery store once a week because just timing. And so keeping fresh vegetables, fresh fruits and everything readily accessible can be a challenge. So we have defaulted to just picking up processed foods that will have a longer shelf life, which is not great. It's not a great decision.
Yeah.
So, but that's definitely changes that we can all make together in 2026. So
yeah. I'll say I feel sad over here. I just take a multivitamin every day. I feel like I need to get on this supplement thing. Although listeners or folks watching, if you have a favorite supplement, definitely I'm going to crowdsource ideas for how I need to improve my supplement game, since my like sad one a day multivitamin might not be enough.
I'll drop my affiliate links in the notes, so just
nice,
click on those if you're interested.
I love that. Yeah. Although we've been talking a lot about sort of the biology or things like exercise and diet, which I think do make a big difference. Something I've been thinking about with this conversation too is the psychology of that brain fog, or being present. It's just like, for me, I don't know. It seems like it's harder and harder as we get older to stay just focused, to stay present. I know, Braxton, you mentioned this is sort of like almost an out of body or autopilot experience. Although good for you for, you feel like you're like smart when you do it. I'm more just like, what's happening? What did I say? Why did I say that? Who's talking? But I do think there is this sense of like, and for me, it's sort of hard to sometimes stay focused in the moment because I'm always thinking about like, what's next? Like, where do the kids have to be, or what other work stuff has to get done, or who do I need to talk to, or what needs to happen now? So I'm wondering, do you guys feel that on the psychology part of things too, that just like, it feels like your mind is always kind of racing, or it's hard to keep up?
Yeah, there's so much information coming at us all the time from work, from media. I mean, I think maybe 5 or 6 different messaging apps across work and my personal life, and that's not even counting text messages. Plus, like I actually used to be a really prolific social media user, but I feel like I pulled back from that because there was just too much coming in constantly. But yeah, with the kids and managing a household and whatnot, there's always stuff to think about that's not what is right in front of you, what you're currently doing. So that pull, that distraction, I think is really strong. And it's there's research out there about this that just didn't really exist if you go back 25 years or 50 years in the same way that it does now. There's decision fatigue too, right? If you have to make more choices every day, over the course of the day, your decisions will actually get worse. They'll be less informed or less thoughtful because you don't have the capacity for it anymore. By the way, so but yeah, by the time I get home from work, I've already made like 1,000 decisions, and I don't have as much brain power left for my wife and kids or my house or my dogs.
It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, the research does back it up. There is parental burnout, which can impact your stress levels, fatigue, which will also impact your stress levels and how you feel as a parent. Um, you know, we talked about this in a previous episode. We've gotten to the stage in life where we also have to worry about our parents
Yeah.
a lot more. Um, there's a lot of discussion right now about creating healthier habits so that we aren't making these decisions all the time because we are getting overloaded. And so, just essentially, like with meal preparation, taking Sunday or whatever day of the week works best and just outlining exactly what you're going to make, building snacks and everything that you want. So, you're taking that decision out of your mind. And it's a tough call to do that, but we also have to empty our minds from poor decisions, things that we don't need to be making decisions about all the time. Um,
Good luck.
it's hard.
Like-
It's hard. It's hard, but building stronger, healthier habits so that they become just part of the daily routine.
Yeah, I think that's all true. I do think, Braxton, you hit on an important point, which is just like the flow of information that comes at us. And I do think like technology has a piece of this as well. Like there have been lots of studies showing whatever the attention span of humans, I think, is now like below a goldfish. And that started in like the
Right.
mid 2000s when phones were like mobile phones or smartphones were everywhere and social media kicked off and now none of us can pay attention to anything. And I do think that that definitely makes it way worse. And it's funny. I was talking with my parents recently. And we were talking about, my mom was talking about the idea of like, being a sandwich generation has always existed, which is definitely true. And I think a lot of other generations have gone through a lot of these same, challenges that millennials and Gen Xers are in midlife now. But the difference, I do feel like the flow of information or technology or just some of those additional pressures make it feel like it's so much more intense than it might otherwise be. I don't know how we fix that, but I definitely feel that.
Do you guys meditate at all?
No.
I used to do a better job.
Dead silence. Stunned silence.
I used like a year or two ago a meditation app, which is really helpful. And I think that's one of my like goals is to try to get back to at least like 10 to maybe, I think I said my goal, like a 10
Yeah.
minutes a day of just like quiet meditation. Yeah.
I had a habit previously where I would block out on my work calendar like 15 minutes to meditate. Of course, what always happens is it gets scheduled over,
Yeah.
Or I just use the time to catch up on email or something like that, which
Right.
I regret. But I mean, it is supposed to help with that kind of overload that we all experience on a daily basis, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh no! I mean, I will say that I don't, but there is I
Shocker.
do.
Shocking.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Yes. Shocking. Mike uses the 10
I
minutes to
will
get more
say-
angry about something.
Yeah, he would just
Yeah.
stew. He would sit there and stew the entire time about the people who have wronged him.
I will say
Boomers.
that I know. God damn it! Fucking boomers.
There it is.
I will say that I use an app on a daily basis. It's just for stretching, and so a lot of times that stretching is more like yoga related.
Okay.
So I won't say that I'm being mindful, but I am trying to like clear my head and focus on the stretching part before I do a workout and kill myself. Since stretching is so important. But yeah, that's I guess the extent of any mindfulness exercises I do on a daily basis.
I mean, honestly, that sounds better than what Andrew and I are currently able to accomplish.
That's
So, like,
accurate.
I'm sure it is meditative, right?
Yeah.
To do that 10 minutes of stretching.
Or just like
Yeah.
slowing down, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
goal, just like kind of slow things, keep it quiet. It reminds me too, I used to actually get back to this, things you do. I used to like 3 times during the day, like just walk away from my desk and take a 10-minute walk outside, like no matter, unless it was like pouring rain, but otherwise like just that sometimes too, I feel like helps a lot to reset you. Maybe that's what it is. You got to find like reset points throughout the day so you're not quite so overwhelmed.
Yeah. So I think we've covered most of the areas that I've been thinking about and that the research shows are out there. There's one other like fringe theory I have, and this is internally developed. I haven't necessarily validated this with outside research, but I would love your thoughts on it. So I have wondered if some of my lack of presence or brain fog could be a consequence of less novelty in my life because I have lived more years and experienced more things. So there are basically fewer surprises, and therefore my mind has the ability to take a step back, focus on other things, go on autopilot, if you will, because I kind of already know what's coming. And that theory only holds water for me in those situations where I feel like I can, in this out of body experience, still feel like I am doing the right things, saying the right things, being effective basically in whatever actions or conversation I'm having. So, it's not always the case necessarily if I'm just being an idiot, but and zoned out. But yeah, I've had these conversations at work where I almost am not like directing the conversation, but I can hear myself saying things that sound on point and pretty smart. And I'm like, oh, I've just been doing this job for a while. Consequently, I know what I'm talking about. I can trust my one part of my brain to take that, and I'm thinking about the shit that I need to do for my wife and kids later. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's just age, experience, wisdom kind of taking effect after these 42 years that I've lived.
I mean, I think there might be something there. When you said the work part is what kind of resonates with me the most. I feel like that's probably more applicable in like a work environment than it is at home, just at least with my kids, because I feel like every day almost is different, or there's a new crazy thing that they're doing or coming up with that you sort of have to like adjust very quickly, and it's not really quite the same. But like the work stuff, that does kind of make sense of, you've built up this sort of institutional knowledge or this bank of experience that you can kind of draw on. And I feel like that's too why people with more experience tend to be able to do certain tasks quicker too, right? Because you've done so many things so many times, you can address them quicker. But
yeah,
I don't
I think it plays into my personal life as well to some extent.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm not universally casting it as a good thing. I think it, I kind of miss that presence in the moment that maybe I used to have, because it doesn't feel right maybe to be on autopilot.
Yeah. Especially around family, right? Like that's at least for me where it feels harder sometimes. Is like,
family or friends.
Or friends, right? Yeah. Like I want to be here, but sometimes you're just not. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need more surprises at work then. So you just need drop some bomb. Just cause chaos.
Yeah. I don't know if that would be great for my brand.
No, it does make sense. Yeah, I mean, we do build up that institutional knowledge, and so it's easy to kind of go on autopilot when you're doing these daily tasks at work and things like that. But create some surprises in life.
Maybe we should all go to Burning Man and rediscover ourselves there.
No,
that's a hard pass for me.
That's a hard fucking pass.
You guys are so different from my Manhattan friends because that's all they talk about.
I had a friend that did that this past year, and that did not go well for her. So
I usually hear the opposite.
So you did mention earlier, Braxton, going to Vegas for the Sphere. I'd be open to that type of a fun adventure, but I don't know about Burning Man does
for a
not.
guy's trip. Yeah,
there you go.
Thank you so much for being open and talking about a rather sensitive topic. I appreciate it. We'll keep talking about it. If any of our listeners or viewers have comments or want to share some of their stories, we would appreciate it. Leave your comments. Send us an email. And with that, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thanks, Braxton. See you guys.
Thanks for having me, guys.